Good morning. This is John H. Irwin representing the Hot Spring County Historical Society with another story of Arkansas. I would like to mention that we have plenty of volumes of the Heritage left, volume 12 being the latest. It's said to be one of the best editions we've put out so far. Our own sale at the Hot Spring County Library, and run members would be $15. We're also soliciting material, family histories, photographs, or whatnot to put in our volume 13 on the next issue, and we would welcome anyone to bring those and let us look at them with the idea of placing them in for publication. We're beginning a series today about the sesquicentennial celebration and some of the things that happened in Arkansas from the very beginning, even before Arkansas ever became a territory. We have to go back about 450 years. The first white men to set foot on the territory of Arkansas were the followers of Hernando de Soto. They came with troops of horses, armor, halberds, crude matchlock firearms, and they also brought with them herds of swine to supplement their food supplies. These herds followed the army wherever it went and were attended to by slaves who followed them. Some of these hogs escaped now and then along the Mississippi River and became the progenitors of the wild hogs found in the river bottoms of Arkansas today. After 4 centuries, these hogs adapted to the new environment by developing long, saber-like tusks and tough, wiry bodies. There used to be great herds of them down in Dallas County around Tulip, and men would like to go down there and hunt them for sport and get some of the trophies of those long tusks. The Spaniards did not seem to take much interest in settling down and colonizing the land, nor were they interested in taking pelts from the great population of fur-bearing animals in the area. Their minds were set on plunder and exploration. They had dreams of gold, silver, and diamonds that they had heard tales of existed in this territory. And the Indians they did encounter on their march were treated with great cruelty. DeSoto crossed the Mississippi River on June 18th, 1541, landing near the present site of Helena, Arkansas. From there he began his exploratory trek westward. Legend has it that he encountered some Indians in the area of what is now Saline County in Arkansas, and that these Indians were wearing silver ornaments and bracelets. He tortured several of them to death, trying to get them to reveal the source of the silver, but to no avail. If this legend is true, this silver mine is a well-kept secret to this very day. It is believed that the Spaniards visited the hot springs in Arkansas in 1541, perhaps thinking they might be the mythical fountain of youth that an earlier explorer, Ponce de Leon, failed to find in Florida. According to tradition, these spring waters were used by the Indians long before the advent of the Spaniards. There is a tale that the various tribes battled from time to time for control of these springs and these hot waters, in which they believed the Great Spirit to be ever present. But finally a truce was declared under which the benefits were extended to the sick of all the Indian tribes. It became a neutral ground. After the visit to the hot spring, DeSoto made his way back to the southeast corner of Arkansas to the Mississippi River, which he had discovered, and died there, probably of malaria. He was secretly buried in the river to keep the Indians from finding his body and knowing that he was dead. Well, after the Spaniards came the French who, unlike the Spaniards, got along very well with these Indians, occasionally taking wives from the tribes. The great Mississippi Valley offered huge opportunities in the fur trade, as the rough hills, the mountains, and the bottomlands abounded in bear, deer, muskrat, raccoon, beaver, possum, panthers, and a few buffalo. In 1682, Rene Robert Cavalier, Sieur de la Salle, Frenchman, came down to Mississippi and claimed the great Mississippi Valley and the land around all its tributaries for France, to be named the Louisiana Territory. In 1686, 4 years later, Henri de Tonty, a lieutenant of La Salle, founded Arkansas Post on the Arkansas River, about 40 miles southeast of what is now Pine Bluff. This settlement was situated on a high bluff and was the first settlement made by the French in the present limits of Arkansas, and was also the first in the lower Mississippi Valley. This settlement was maintained by a troop of French soldiers, and in the latter part of the 18th century was a starting point for French fur traders who penetrated the Southwest as far as the Rio Grande River. In 1717, the Compagnie d'Occident, also known as the Mississippi Company, by royal charter from King Louis XV of France, obtained authority to colonize and cultivate the lands along the Mississippi River. Its organizer, John Law, in 1719, brought in 800 planters and 500 Negro slaves to make a settlement near Arkansas Post. Well, the planters could not cope with the mosquitoes, malaria, hot summers, and frequent flooding of the Mississippi and the Arkansas River. When they heard of the collapse of their company, now called the Great Mississippi Bubble, in 1721, they abandoned the post. And once again, the main industry of Arkansas Post was the acquiring of beaver pelts from the neighboring Quapaw Indians in exchange for cheaply manufactured knives, guns, kettles, pots, hatchets, trinkets, and such like. This trading post brought Indians from as far away as the Great Lakes with great quantities of pelts, especially beaver, which became very popular in the manufacture of gentlemen's high fur hats of that day. The Arkansas Post eventually fell to the Americans by the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, becoming a territorial capital on the creation of Arkansas Territory in 1819. Now, this land region that comprised Arkansas was known as Bear Country in the days before it was settled. The most profitable animals in commercial hunting were the bear and deer, both in plenteous numbers in the rough hills and ravines, especially along the routes of the Washita, the Arkansas, and the White Rivers. Of course, we're here in Hot Spring County are interested in the route of the Washita River. And both these animals were prized for their meat and their hide. Bear skin, robes, buckskin jackets, and so forth. From the deer, they could get some fine tallow, some of the finest, for making candles, and the prized oil from the carcass of the bear. Bear skins were used for robes and bed covers. The bear meat was cut into strips and dried over a bed of glowing charcoal. The suet from this flesh was rendered into fine oil by heating in a kettle. This bear oil was stored in whiskey barrels, rum and brandy casks, or in logs hollowed out in the troughs. The town of Oil Trough in Independence County, Arkansas, derived its name from this practice. And William Dunbar reported the Dunbar Hunter expedition up the Washita River in 1804. He wrote that the hunters count much of their profits from the oil drawn from the bear's fat, which at New Orleans is always a ready sale, and is much esteemed for its wholesomeness in cooking, being preferred over butter or hog's lard. It is found to keep longer than any other oil and of the same nature without turning rancid. They have a way of boiling it from time to time upon sweet bay leaves, which restores it or facilitates its conservation. The meat of the bear was also prized in the fine restaurants of New Orleans and the diners of the luxurious steamboats that plied the Mississippi River at that time. One of the most famous rugged bear hunters of Hot Spring County's early years was a man named James Doris, who served as the sheriff of the county from January 1st, 1833 to January 1st, 1835. The county seat was located at Hot Springs then, and the county's border stretched from Pulaski County to the Oklahoma border. From a scrapbook of a Dr. Willis Smith, we learn that James Doris was primarily a bear hunter and a native of Kentucky. In one season, he skinned and dried 20,000 pounds of bear meat, and another time he got 30 gallons of bear oil from one bear. This excerpt is taken from the Hot Spring County Heritage, Volume 10, page 151. Now truly, these early hunters in the Washita Mountains and the valleys were men of great ruggedness and endurance. They were rough men and lived rough and endured all kinds of hardships, and some were even fugitives from the law. But they lived by a code of honor. One barn hunter spotted many catches of animal skins upon scaffolds built in the tree branches, and others that were simply hung over tree branches or poles in plain view of anyone traveling up the river. But these hunters respected all other hunters' property. They would not bother it. Now others who came into these regions and decided to settle on the land were just about as rugged as the hunters. If they found a suitable location with plenty of wild game available, a stream of water nearby, and a place that could be cleared for growing corn and potatoes, they simply built a crude log cabin and settled down there. It had been told of a census taker who came upon a family living in a cabin out in these backwoods, who asked the man of the family if he had a title to the property. The settler promptly invited him into the cabin, pointed to a long rifle over the mantel of the fireplace, and said, "There's my title, mister. It's the only one I need around these parts." Many of these early hunters and settlers in Arkansas and Hot Spring County, who lived under the flags of both Spain and France, played an important role in the development of our country. All that is left to recall them are a few family traditions and French names like Bayou de Chute, or phrase, which means freshwater, Francois Creek, which we call Franceway, Thierry Rouget, Redland, Thierry Nord, Blacklands, Isle de Malone, Watermelon Island on the Washita, and these names on our map whose origins have long since been forgotten, along with their correct pronunciation. Now all these woodsmen and forest dwellers and hunters had in mind, they had no idea of creating a state or a territory. They were after the animals in those rugged hills and forest lands, after their furs and their meat. But they did blaze the trail for other settlers who later came and then built plantations. And finally, in 1833, the population of Arkansas had reached past 40,000 people, which entitled it to apply for statehood. And we'll talk more about that in our next broadcast here on KBOK. Thank you very much. This is John H. Irwin.